Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Hey there.
Josefina.
On?
So nice to have you on. I haven't seen you so
It's been a
long.
while, huh?
Yes, yes. How's Jeremiah?
He's good. He's big now.
How
He's
old is Jeremiah?
13. He's tall. He's taller than me.
Wow.
No
Oh my
way.
God.
I seen Carol's name on there and I said, ooh, I have to sign on.
Yay. Done it.
It's been a long time.
It has been.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you.
Good to see you.
Hi, Lisa. Where are you
Hi,
coming? Where are you coming in from?
I'm in 92129, Rancho Penasquitos, Carmel Valley area.
Okay, great. Nice to have you. How
Yeah,
about
thank
you,
you.
Kathy? Where are you coming in from?
Encinitas.
Okay, great. We were just talking about Encinitas. Hi,
Yeah.
Brian. Are you able to talk?
Yep.
Brian.
In
Okay,
between bites
great.
of my sandwich here. Yep.
Where are you coming in from?
San Diego, proper
Okay,
that Claremont area. Yep.
great.
Nice.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm going to pass it back to Rebecca for a little bit to introduce Carolyn.
Yes, I'm very excited for today. Okay, I have a little slideshow, uh,
Oh,
a few. We'll go over our Zoom rules for any of you who are new or haven't joined in a while. Um, but here we go. Okay, there we go. All right. Hope everyone can see that all right. And then we'll go over a few quick updates from Autism Tree about what we're up to. At the nearing end of summer, school is starting for some kids. And we'll talk about some of the upcoming events we have. So please mute yourself when you're not speaking. We recommend speaker view for presentation. Video sharing is optional, though we love to see all your smiling faces. And then you can type all questions and comments into the chat. Although I know our guest speaker, Carolyn, would love to talk with you guys and get your feedback on what she's talking about today. So you are welcome to unmute yourselves and ask any questions. You can raise your hand or virtually raise your hand. So whatever's easiest for you. And I'll also keep an eye out for the chat as well. And my quick update. So we've now had 492 new families who have filled out our program intake form on our website. And these are just the new families that have filled out our intake form, not just the families that we always run into out in the community or who just sign up for our events and find us. So there's a lot of new families. Welcome to all of our new families. And welcome to our Autism Tree family. If you've never heard or if you haven't attended some of our events before, I definitely recommend it. We offer 20 programs, 9 are currently in person, 7 are hybrid, and 4 are virtual. And we have 11 upcoming events between at this end of August and September. And I highly recommend you follow us on social media at Autism Tree on Instagram and Facebook. We always post all of our events on our website and on Facebook calendar as well. So you can be the first to sign up. Events this week, we have our adaptive dance classes, which happens every single week. We have different age groups alternating weeks. So 6 through 12 was last week. This week we have 13 through 24. And we also have a fun cooking class for our Autism Tree teens as a part of our teen program, which will be happening this Saturday as well at the Therapeutic Recreation Centers. And we also have our Girls in STEM workshop. So girls only and science activities that are really fun. That's also happening this Saturday in the late afternoon. So if you have any questions or want to join those, you're welcome to reach out to me. We have 601 videos on our YouTube channel, which is so amazing. We started this during the pandemic. We started these lunch and learns during the pandemic and really grew our YouTube subscribers and our impact of our videos. We also have our Global Neurodiversity Conference that's recorded by the University of California television now, which is amazing. So all of those, we have a whole playlist. We have multiple playlists of resources for our families, including this Lunch and Learn and our conference and all of that. So there's a lot of good things. You can subscribe if you'd like to get weekly updates of these Lunch and Learns being posted to our YouTube. We now have 151 that you can go back to and watch at any point. We love every single one, and every person is really close to our hearts and our community, and they love Autism Tree family. So highly recommend you check it out. And now I want to introduce Carolyn. So Carolyn Cates, she was the Food, Farming, and Nutrition Program Director for Autism Tree, referred by our amazing past board member, Pablo Fernandez. He brought Carolyn on, and she was just an incredible program director for our Food, Farming, Nutrition program. Brought so much calm and healing to every single food and farm workshop that we had at Wild Willow from 2017 to 2016 to 2019. And it was just such a joy, and even opened so many new doors for our families, like even going to a pumpkin patch and touring the dairy farms and all these different fun activities of being able to pick fresh produce and make lunch with it. Carolyn was part of all of that and more. And I miss seeing you, Carolyn, at all of our core team meetings that we used to do before the pandemic. And she's just a light in our community. And we're really, really happy, Carolyn, to have you back and reconnect and get this food farming program back into the swing of things post-pandemic and really
Awesome.
take it to the next level. So thank you so much, Carolyn, for being
Sure.
here today.
Sure. So, as Rebecca said, I, along with other people, started and ran the food farming and nutrition program that was held down in Wild Willow, which is a nonprofit farm right by the border. If any of you know what happened down by the border and what's still happening is that sewage from Tijuana is coming into their river and is really it's polluting the whole Imperial Valley. Unfortunately, like a lot of other farms, Wild Willow is in a floodplain. So when we had those really heavy rains in January, it flooded the farm and brought with it all the sewage and everything. That's not healthy to grow in. So it has been closed up until about a month ago. I visited it and we don't want to do our program there. You don't want to go back there. But there are certainly other programs that we have. And, when I was doing these, there was many people that lived in North County that felt like, going all the way down to the border was a really long drive. So I am now looking at another site. There's a couple of them in Encinitas. I know that will be a drive for other people, but we'll sort of take turns. And the idea is that we'll do the same thing. Both of the locations that I'm looking at will be the same format that will go, every other week probably, or whatever we choose to do, and do the similar thing. Learn how to plant or the idea of growing food, the idea of picking it to develop a relationship with it. Then the idea of processing it, which is washing and, cutting the stems off and that kind of stuff. And then both of these locations have uh, an outdoor kitchen. And so that's the idea that we then take them and do really simple things, because at that point, that whole process that I just described allows people to develop a relationship with their food, and that relationship stops the fear of eating colored foods or never tried that, I don't know what to do with it. But as an important thing, the parents always came, and it sort of opens their eyes to it too. So that's the idea going forward. Once I get a location, is to similarly repeat it because it's so simple and it's so easy. Uh, I also have a friend, and I thought we would include this as part of it, who has a nonprofit that teaches people how to grow food in their backyards. They don't have a backyard in their windowsill. They don't have a windowsill, a couple of pots outside somewhere. Uh, the idea is to continue. So I thought we'd probably end this program with that. Very simple. She sends people home with 6 or 7 different starter plants, or if they really don't have a place to plant, a larger pot that will allow, and they're herbs, so that, but it still continues the idea of where your food comes from, that it doesn't come packaged, and it just changes the relationship with food. So that is what I'm hoping to do very soon with Dana and Rebecca's help, that we get a new location, and it'll be kind of the combo. Certainly, being involved in the current farming that's there, and then those steps, but also learning that if you want to take this, and I'm not talking about having a farm in anybody's house. I'm just taking, even if you have an apartment, I've had tiny little condos where I had a window box and I grew all the herbs, basil, whatever. So that is my intention. And as soon as we find a new place, the fall's a good time anyway to start it. So both of the places I'm looking at are really close together, and they're both off of the highway, easy to get to, so it shouldn't be an issue. So that is my first thing. My second thing is that I've always wanted, and I know that as children get older, their interests change. And so the second thing I was going to do uh, is at maybe one of the same farms or maybe another farm, is that we will grow certain things specifically I have somebody that knows how to make, I have several options, and that will have to come from families and you guys, and tell me what you think would be most engaging. But when you grow produce, there's usually excess. So I thought that this would be for older kids, and it would be, certainly still on the farm, but a series of pickling, fermenting, um, perhaps making salves, tinctures, topicals, and that takes it off to a whole different, and that's really easy to do. I have a friend that knows how to do it, and she's more than willing for us to use her facility to make this stuff. It's not hard. And then we go into, like, Joel Anderson could create then you create a small company, and you know, create a logo, create whatever, and you have to, it could be teas, because teas are easy to make. But the idea is now you take it to the next step, and you're creating a nonprofit business that you would sell products that would still tell your story. It would also, throw them back to your website for donations, but it would also, I did this with employees at Whole Foods, and they had their picture and they signed each product, and it makes everything so different. So the idea of that offshoot of growing and taking produce and making products, then creating a business, not for the intention of making money, but more for the exercise of it. And that is what I'm thinking. Anybody have any feedback?
I love the entrepreneurship idea and supporting that for our young adults and our teens. I think a lot of them are unsure if, they're going to college, or if they're going to, trying to find a job, and they don't know where to start. And so those life skills are really important to practice.
That's the whole idea of this program, certainly, because you know what? We don't get outside enough. We don't play in the dirt enough, any of us. And so when you get that opportunity, I don't want to use that opportunity to continue to do that, but there's a whole slew. And I know 4 or 5 business people that would love to. Again, we're not creating a business to become, rich or any of that. We're creating this business to teach people, it's a skill to make all these things, whatever it is. Whether you want to sell pickled beets that you grew, which is super easy, and then, the making of labels, these are all things that are all doable and they're not too complicated. So that's what my idea is.
I love it. Josefina has her hand raised.
Hi. Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea because, like you said, we don't get out in the sun as much. And our kids, like mine, Jeremiah, he's a very picky eater. And when we went to the farm back in the day when you were there, he ate kale, he ate cilantro and beets, which are strong foods, which you wouldn't think a kid would eat those, but he did and he loved them. But also, like now as a teenager, getting out there and touching the soil and getting involved in that is good because he is very sensitive with a lot of things, and I think this will help him with his autism too, and all the other kids too, because it's not like, ooh, yeah, it'll be something that they, ooh, how cool, if we do this, they'll come out like this,
Right.
in the brain.
And it's cool to actually create something, whether it's you grow it and then make it, or where you just are part of saying, I made this or whatever. But you're right. So when they dig in the dirt, there's more than just, getting, certainly you get grounded and you do all that kind of spiritual stuff. But the truth is there's all these stuff in that dirt called microbiomes. And that is what everybody has issues with in their guts, and it's very, very common in autistic kids to have a leaky gut and a whole bunch of other stuff. But just digging in the dirt helps that whole issue. So that is what. And then at one of these farms there are chickens, there are blah blah, and that would be another offshoot. If chickens are really, when we went down to Wild Willow and they chickens, some of the kids just sat in front of the chickens and just listened to that cooing all day. So, yeah.
Marina also says in the chat, she said, that all sounds wonderful. The connection to their food is so important. And she says her son has a good connection to fruits and vegetables, but there are some he still turns his nose to.
The truth is there's still some that they're going to turn their nose up to, for sure. But if we can find, because I think as adults, there's stuff that we just don't like either. But it overcomes that blanket, I'm not going to eat anything. You know what I mean? If you can take some of it, there's just going to be stuff people hate. I mean, there's people that hate beets, and there's people that hate cilantro, and there's people that hate. But if we can get them the idea, it also allows them, I think it's really important that everybody becomes aware of our, the ecological effect that we're doing on the, to our earth. And these are younger kids, and global warming is a thing. And, as we move forward, the way we eat, how we grow, what we do will also change. So it's so important that you're actually aware of what's changing, what could you do, how can you help? And so you have that ecological kind of awareness too.
Yeah, we really like the idea of the outdoor kitchen as well, Marina says.
Well, that's the idea. So if you just, the idea is that if you just go and learn how to plant and you learn how to, pick and you learn all that, but you don't teach people what to do with it, we never did this before, but if we could move forward, I will, have availability of recipes and things like that, which, you can refer back to or do that kind of stuff.
I know we still have some recipes from Maria, who used to be our head chef, and her son Jonah was our sous chef, and we saved some of her recipes as well, so we can hand that out to families. Josephina, you had some more comment? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering where in Encinitas are the 2 places you have?
So the 2 places I'm looking for, and you know what, I invite you all to go look at them, because if you're around, But Coastal Roots, which is connected to an organization called Leash Tag. I think I took you guys to them, Rebecca, I think.
Yeah, we did go
Uh,
there.
it's really, really evolved since the last time we went there. And why I want to work with them is they have a farm store every Thursday and Sunday. And that farm store, they give away produce to those in need, and then you pay what you can. But, I don't want to assume that they're going to say, okay, but part of the program definitely could be planting, picking, and working in that farms if, people wanted to. That would be another way. But, bundling and get ready for the farm market, get ready for whatever. But that takes that commerce piece and adds it again. So
I
that's
grew
one. What?
I was just gonna say I grew up in Encinitas, so I'm familiar with all that area. That's why I was asking what were the
Then
two.
there's a brand new, which you may not know about. It just opened about 3 weeks ago, and it's called Fox Point Farms. It is in Encinitas, and it's actually a development, like a neighborhood, houses and townhouses, and what, but all built around a farm. So it's an organic farm, and it's also or an organic brewery where they roast their own hops. They do all that stuff. It also has a really great playground for anybody that's there, and you can do farm tours and things like that. They have chickens, and so it'd be a great place to do it. They also have an outdoor kitchen, so it's a perfect place and a really great play area, soccer field, really meant for all that. Um, those are the two places. They fit perfect. They Fox Point Farms is a for-profit farm, but who doesn't like to do good? So I think we can convince them. And Leech Tag is nonprofit, and that's all they do. They already have a farm camp, so I would incorporate, which I know about, which I would incorporate basically into our plan too. So they already have not autistic kids, but they already have children coming every weekend to do something like that. So they're pretty much set up for that, and they also have an outdoor kitchen. Yes, both of them. What the great thing is, they both have great playgrounds. One has actually a sensory playground with like it's set up for that. The other Coastal Roots is just cool. There's a swing set and there's play things for kids, especially for kids. So yeah, that's why they both would fit so well.
I'm kind of curious if any parents have any feedback about maybe if they want to share about their particular kid and what if they're a picky eater, and what they would like to work on with their kid, and give us any ideas. On any of that. Would anybody like to share?
I'll share a little bit. So just what resonates for me here is the fact that my family and I used to live in Houston until 2 years ago. We relocated to very rural Texas, and now we are living in 40 acres of land. And I'm still kind of, grappling with the fact that we left Houston city life to being out here where you have to drive for everything. You have to no neighbors, lots of differences. But now that you're talking about this and the possibilities of being outdoors and what it can potentially do for my kids, because I have three, one that is 9, one that is 3, and the other one is 5 months old. And even though only the 9-month-old has been diagnosed, I'm pretty sure that the other two will be diagnosed soon, and eventually for the 5-month-old. So just thinking of, things that we can do here with 40 acres of land, and what possibilities we can offer for them.
Well, that's great. I think that's amazing, and you can really start with simple things. At one of our workshops, we did something called seed bombs, and they are just mud and seeds, and you go to your empty fields and throw them out, and the next spring you'll have flowers all over. And that's kind of a great, just and you can do that anywhere and any place, and they work 100% of the time. Some of the kids didn't want to get dirty, which I get, but you can actually buy the seed balls too if you want online. If you don't want to get dirty and you just want your kids to throw them out, you can buy them too. But
Well,
yeah,
the 9-month-old has a huge fear of bugs, so that prevents him from being outside, just complete panic. But the 3-year-old is perfectly fine being outside. He loves being outside in the dirt. We have goats and we have sheep and chickens, and he's okay with everything.
oh well, how lucky are they?
Well,
Fantastic.
I'm still trying to see how lucky they are because, like I said, it's been a huge change for me. But my husband absolutely happy. Other than being outside and struggling with certain things for therapy, for example, we are struggling to find providers. In that sense, it's hard, but yeah, I can see some of the benefits of being out here.
What's the area that you live in? Carolyn?
We are very close to the border with Louisiana. It's called Burkeville.
Okay.
It's a it's a tiny town with one stop sign, no lights. It's one little gas station, one store. That's it.
Oh, wow. We had another family move to Texas, and so I wanted to see maybe if you'd be open to it, I could connect you to. And she has.
I'm actually from California. I grew up in Salinas. I attended UC Davis, and now I'm here.
Oh, nice. UC Davis is another area where they have a lot of agriculture. And, yeah. That's awesome. Well, if you ever want to be connected with one of our other families,
Absolutely. If they're close by.
yeah, hopefully. Texas is a big state, but I'll ask.
Yeah.
Mm. And we also have, I just want to give we, during the pandemic, we recorded videos on our YouTube with the staff from Wild Willow Farm. And he did a set of 10 videos of ideas on, learning more about the farm and different activities as well. So you can check those out on our YouTube channel. I can email them to you.
I will. I'll look for them.
Something you can try at home.
Yes.
Carolyn, Brian said, it helps when my daughter assists in cooking. It improves, but doesn't ensure that they're going to try it. Yeah, you never know. She has texture issues too, besides taste, and she's tried a lot more as a baby and is having a much harder time trying new foods.
Yeah, I think it's also age related, and but the same idea I had behind creating relationships with food, you were right to have her help you cook it or help it prepare it, because now she sort of relates to it. It never guarantees that they're going to eat it. But um, the more they feel understanding of it, that it's not something foreign, it's not something that's frightening. And that just comes again with having a relationship. No guarantee that they're going to eat it, but
Okay. Marina says, when are you going to start this program?
well, that is kind of a good question. So everybody put out there that when I go with Dana and Rebecca, who are quite convincing, that they say yes and we start. I would say October-ish.
Yeah.
And if not, if they really want to do it, some people, once it gets to be, October, November, it's the holidays, they may want to start it in January. Although I'm going to say that we may not want to do it in January because we had a lot of rain in January this year. Remember all the flooding? And we were lucky we only had one rain out, I think, right? One rain day when we did it. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Dana, Rebecca, October, because it wouldn't be such a stretch. We've done this program before. So it's just finding a new location and a new home. So everybody put your energy out there. Let them know. Yeah. If not, in the meantime, I'm going to talk to Dana and Rebecca about maybe just doing a trip there to kind of get to know the farms, a 1-day thing at one or the other, with activities planned on that day, and then we'll kind of bounce from there. Probably that's a more realistic thing to do this year. Just day trips. So we'll do that and then move into it probably in the new year.
As some of our OG families like Josephina and Jeremiah, we used to do the program in the spring. So
Right, April.
yeah, April through like late March through May.
Yeah, yeah. You start to hit, rain and stuff like that through those months, and but another trip. There's always the pumpkin patch, which is always fun. I don't know whether they're doing it, but there's others, and maybe a picking trip, or where we pick a certain produce or whatever. So, yeah. So I think that's what it's going to look like.
I love Jeff brought up a really good point in the comments. He says, it's really all about how the food will be tolerated as well with the child when they're trying it. As someone with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, you really have to be careful with what foods that will not only taste, but be tolerable by the child. Definitely.
That is absolutely so. But I'll tell you, from somebody who has Crohn's disease, the thing that it's really not fresh fruits and vegetables that are quite setting us off, but usually cooked vegetables everybody can tolerate. Maybe chomping on a big piece of raw kale isn't the deal, but we'll be cooking some, so we would know that. So, but I appreciate absolutely. It's not for everybody, but cooked vegetables pretty much is okay for even a baby.
Something for everybody.
Yep.
Marina said, that all sounds great. Can we do afternoons or weekends because of school? Of course, Marina, we will always do it, probably on weekends.
Yeah, we were doing it and it usually is best in the morning. I mean, I'm not talking about 7 o'clock in the morning, but in the morning on a weekend when it's cooler, no matter what, weather. Yeah. So that's what we'll be looking at. And again, as long as people say yes to me, which I like, we'll move forward.
Well, I have a few contacts at Coastal Roots. I actually just met with a few people. Gosh, we were both nominated for a grant, and I was at a grant presentation, and I met a few of them there. And I already expressed how we went one time before, and it was such a huge hit, and we want to come again. And they said, "Yeah, let's do it." And
okay, well then I take that as a yes. So it could be, we could have our first thing in October.
Yes, let's definitely make it happen for sure.
Right. And then, also the idea of small classes up into that. My friend Nim would like to be involved because she already does it. She does it all over the county where she works with Feeding San Diego. And when they come and pick up their, food, they come and pick up 6 starter plants too with a small workshop. So that really, yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so you're right. And that really works. She also works with the CRC here, which is the community resource group that has a food closet and has, another kind of retail shop raising money for their community. So that is something that, yeah, whenever she has the time.
Yeah, that'd be fun doing a workshop and then maybe even a tour of the CRC. I don't know what their facilities are like, but that'd be
Well, that's all the ideas. So yeah, there's a lot of options, but the idea is that we have to get back connected with our food, because if you don't know where your food comes from, we eat a lot of not food that's not food, and that's why, I just heard on the news that unfortunately, like 30-year-old kids now are getting illnesses that old people such as myself get, and it's because they're all related to guts. So it's colon cancer and that kind of stuff. All preventable if you just kind of change your diet, almost all preventable, but you know what I mean? So it's good. And especially when you have more challenges of not wanting to eat for whatever the syndrome is, makes it harder. So that's
well, Karen says in the comments, she said, Carolyn, it's so great to see you. You are always such an inspiration and a bright light for our family.
Well, it's good to be back. You know, you got to take a break. And then, of course, the pandemic just sort of broke everything up. So, and it's great to start again. You know, you take what you had that worked and then make it even better. So I'm excited. And I'm excited that other people are excited.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who are very interested in the food farming program. All of our new families, like I said, there's 490, over 490 that, and there's a
Well,
lot that are interested, that are brand new. So
well, fantastic. And I'm excited. It's time that we all begin again, right? After, a forced exile from life. It's time to begin again. And I'm glad you include me. So thank you.
oh, we love you, Carolyn. Dana, do you want to say anything? Any final words?
Oh, I just feel really blessed how everything seems to happen organically, exactly when it's supposed to. And I feel like, as I think we all kind of have brought up, the timing feels really good to embrace Carolyn being back here in San Diego County again and just ready to rock with our families. And I feel like we have a whole new generation of families, and we've learned so much from the first generation. I think hopefully we can continue to do even more for the second generation. And it's really, really nice to hear from so many families and individuals who are living with autism. So we can always get that input is incredibly important. So I think it's been really nice to have some of our original families on here giving you feedback, and then some new families and families even from out of state. I really enjoy our lunch and learns for that reason. I get to see people I normally wouldn't only see a couple times a year, weekly, and I think that's really meaningful. So maybe once we do go do a tour, Carolyn, we might be able to turn that into a lunch and learn, like make it go live
I
so
would
that
love
we can
that. That
take
would be great.
everyone with us.
Oh,
I don't know
that
how
would
you
be
guys
great.
feel about that, Jeff, if you'd want to have us do a lunch and learn when we go actually visit. We've done things like that before where we visited places on a lunch and learn. So I think that might be a nice next step with this lunch and learn with you, Carolyn.
Well, both of the places are kind of they're inspiring. You know, when you go there, you wanna dig, you wanna feel. It makes you just going there makes you feel good. So I think that would be great. It would make a lot of sense to take people with us virtually.
Yeah, good.
Yay. Well, I'd love to do a group picture before we all go.
Someone else typed something in too.
Yeah, I just saw Lisa's comment. She said, this program sounds great for Josh with autism, and I hope I pronounce this right. Prader-Willi syndrome, which he has insatiable hunger. He's 10, nonverbal, and will eat veggies, but it would be great to show Josh the farm and plans with anything.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
Yeah. All right. I'll take a group photo if you'd like to share your screen. We'd love to see you. And I'll take a screenshot. So all you have to do is smile at the camera. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 2. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yay. Thank you again, Carolyn.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much. I look
everybody.
forward to for everybody, and we'll make an announcement soon. So, thanks.
Thank you.